out to him. This is the shit pitch whisperer day, guys. Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
money.
Let's get to the
money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the ass screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies. Welcome to the Balking Dead. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and this show's still sponsored by Prize Picks. Of course, if you don't know, you should know. So go on over there, use that promo code PUBSPORTS. Your first match deposit up to $100, they got you. So go do us a favor, do you a favor, and use that promo code. And shout out to everyone who's already used it. We appreciate it more than you fucking know. I can't say thank you enough, but I'll say it again. So thank you. And let's get to the fucking monies, guys. Smash the like if you haven't. If you're in Twitter world, hit the link. This video will end shortly, and you might miss out on the monies, guys. And I did press it up a little bit yesterday. Yesterday, I even told you that I think I may be pressing, and guess what? I pressed, and I got kicked right in the fucking balls, and I had to talk with myself. Because why? Because I think I'm God, guys. And at the end of the day, real people talk to themselves, and I had a real fucking conversation yesterday with myself, and yeah.
Like, I am a god. Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I just told you. That's who I think I am.
For real, though. So, at the end of the day, I'm not playing shit unless it says fucking smack 'em, Sharpie, in the black book. Don't get fucking cute. And just pass. Say pass. It's okay to pass at the end of the day. So until we get hot again, we only play in what says to be fucking played. So we are going to break down 6K props. I'm going to lean towards the yes on a couple of these things. But at the end of the day, I got one fucking bet in and one bet only, guys. I put over a nice little chunk of money. Let's just not say it. At the end of the day, guys, I had to go put some money back in over the last 2 days, and it's all on one guy. So let's get to the fucking monies, guys. So smash the like if you already haven't. The chat is fucking rolling. Jacksonville Zoe, my guy Joe Free, Sunnyville, I see you, my guy. Viper, Rizza, LJ, everybody is here. And let's get to the fucking money. First game up, guys. Because we got Pablo Lopez versus these Padres, guys. And at the end of the day, it ain't Pablo Escobar no more. It's Pablo Lopez. He opened last night, and let's talk about opening lines right quick. Every opening line will be off of FanDuel, and every morning and closing line right before the show, and I'm going to use closing line as right before the show, all is from mybookie.ag. You go use that promo code PubSports as well there. But FanDuel is usually the very first book to open them up, and I do know a couple guys who are able to use those books, so they've turned me on to that, and I've been able to get these lines right before I go to sleep and then at least put them into the show, which does help us track the line movement. So Pablo Lopez opened up at 6+ at plus 106. This morning he was at a 6+ at plus 127, and he has now closed at a 6+ at plus 140. So all the money coming against him, and I get it, guys. He is averaging 6.2 over his last 10, 6.4 over his last 8, and 6.8 over his last 6. Now, there's alarm bells that they're going to give you a strikeout less. to these Padres? No. At the end of the day, Sandy Alcantara, yes, he had 6 really quick, but he only ended up with 6. At the end of the day, this team isn't striking out like they haven't been really striking out all year. So I wouldn't even say like you think they were. We all know the Padres are one of those teams that have been making contact, and they're really hard to strike out at times. And he did go up against this team way back on May 7th. And he had 8 innings, 0 earned runs, and 5 Ks. Now add on to the fact that you've got Juan Soto and Bell there, who are very patient batters. So at the end of the day, I get why they dropped it 1 from his average, but they also gave you plus money. And I'm not going to bait on that. On Prize Picks, they gave us a 5 plus at a minus 239, and his fantasy score is at 29.5. He averages a half strikeout more on the road per 9 than he does at home. He is at home where he's averaging an 8.7 strikeouts per 9. So just by the numbers, without even looking at the Padres or the lineup, guys, he's going to need to go at least 6 innings. So not saying Pablo Lopez can do that, but let's get a little farther into it. He has an issue striking out left-handed bats, and a lot of right-handed pitchers do. He strikes out right-handed bats at 11 strikeouts per 9 compared to just a 7.4 left-handed bats. And once the lineups came out, more money came out on his under. There is 5 left-handed bats in the lineup today and 4 right-handed. There is nothing projected about it. This is already out. So let's get into number 30 in the black book. And last year and this year, he's had a solid pre-All-Star, and he's fallen off the fucking cliff post All-Star. And once again, last year, 5+ ERA. This year, it's a 6+ ERA. Now, this is something that I've come to a lot with a lot of these pitchers. And once they get to a spot in their career where they pitched at, they tend to hit a fucking wall. And I don't like to bet on guys who hit fucking walls. Not saying it happens to every pitcher. Frankie Montas is an outlier. Not saying but for the most part, I've learned that I will ride a guy about 30 more innings than he's normally pitched in his career, and then I'll just let him show me something before I bet on him. But at the end of the day, he's got to show me, and he hasn't been that dude over since the All-Star break, and this ain't just this year, like I was saying. So at the end of the day, he's going up against a team that's walking at an 11.1%, not striking out at a 21%. They're crushing the fucking ball. 290 average with an 848 OPS and an ISO of a 187. 170 is great. 140 is average. This is not a team I want to run into right now, and not a strikeout prop I want nothing to do, strictly because Pablo Lopez hasn't been Pablo Lopez that he was before the All-Star break. And I like to bet guys that I think are going to be fucking dominating the game, not just out there and could get the living dog shit hit out of them while cashing their K prop. Now, at the end of the day, it cashes, and sometimes I'll fucking take it happily, but most of the time I want it to be nice, smooth sailing. So let's get to it. And yeah, he's now he's just running into a monster. To when he faced them earlier, they were nothing near to this machine, and he only had 5 strikeouts. Yes, he dominated the game, but he hasn't been the same guy. And yeah, he's already 20 more innings pitched than he has done in his whole career, and he hasn't looked like he can handle it at the end of the day, guys. So I told you I like that 30. I'll ride a guy into the 30, but this guy hasn't shown me to ride him, so I'm going to just kick back and relax on some Pablo Lopez. On the other side, it's Max Scherzer, and everybody knows my feelings on Max Scherzer. And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, but smash the fucking like if you already have it. Can't believe I have to even say that, but not even 22. Jesus. But let's get into Mad Max. He opened at a 9+ plus 116. This morning, he was at a 9+ at a plus 104. His 8+ was a minus 22. Minus 122, and then he closed at an 8+ minus 157, and a 9+ is a minus 102 right about now. Fantasy scores at 43.5, and Prize Picks has him at an 8 strikeouts. Well, we got an issue going on here, guys. This is Mad Max, and they're going to give us less than his average. Let's get a little into this, guys. Over his last 8, he's averaging 8.4 strikeouts a game. Over his last 6, 7.8. Everything tells me that the 9+ was the right number, but then it got bet down. And now people all over the fucking planet are jumping all over this 8. Like, oh, yeah, this Max is averaging 10 per game versus these guys. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, let's get a little deeper into it, guys. At the end of the day, they don't give you below the average on Max Scherzer. And I'm not going to say I'm going to be wrong here, but I have not stayed off of Max when he's not won. I have stayed off of him when he has lost, like last week. And I'm going to stay off of him again today. Not saying I don't think he hits it. I'm not going to bet his under. That's one thing I'm not going to do. But a lot of this shit here tells me there's too much red flags, and I'm going to get into it, guys. At home, he averages 10.3 strikeouts compared to 11.9 on the road, and he is on the road here, so I get it. That favors him. He strikes out lefties and righties the same, 11 from the left-handed side, 11.2 from the right-handed side. That's per 9, so it doesn't really matter lineup-wise, and it is not projected. They already put out the lineups, and they put 5 right-handed bats and 4 left-handed bats. Well, doesn't matter left-handed, right-handed hitting. They're both hitting a whopping 209 off of Mad Max, and now this is the third game he will see them with 11 days in the same period. Now, we talked about this with Robbie Ray last night, and I told you why he was a half unit last night, and he hit that 8, and he landed on 8. Now, when a team strikes out a fucking boatload within a 2-week period, they tend not to strike out as much. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't hit it. He just struck him out 11 times on August 6th. Now, can he hit 8, 3 less? Fuck yes, he can. He's Mad Max. And when I dig into these numbers, guys, this is where I'm going to have to say pass. But at the end of the day, this is the third time he's played them. He's gone 7 innings deep in both games, allowing a total 1 earned run with 9 and 11 strikeouts. Played them July 11th and 11 days ago on August 6th. This will be the highest walk percentage, the lowest strikeout percentage, the highest average OPS and ISO Mad Max has gone up against versus these Braves. Not saying he's not going to hit his K prop, but there's enough there in these numbers to tell me just to kick back and watch this game. We've been on him the first 2 times versus the Braves when the strikeout percentage was sitting at that 25 and up. They're actually below that 24 right now of the last 200 bats, guys, and they're hitting it at 282, 846 OPS. Now, I've got plenty of things to expect Mad Max to be out there long to where he can hit his K prop. I'm not going to tell you not to bet Mad Max. If you're on him, I get it. I'm just telling you why I'm not. And there's just the familiarity within an 11-day period, the fact that he struck him out 11 times 11 days ago, and the fact that these are all the best numbers that he's going up against versus these Braves that I run up versus them in my book. And my book tells me that this can be a struggle, if any. If this was to be the game where he struggled, this tells me this can be it. The Mets had to go to their bullpen early yesterday, so I expect Mad Max to be out there at least 100-plus pitches today, guys. And I'm a little worried of him pitching to contact today, too, guys. He understands he needs to go deep in this game, and he is an ace. He will look for them strikeouts when he's needed, but would not be surprised if you see one of those games where he goes deep, and he isn't looking for the punch-outs. But even if he goes deep, he should average a strikeout an inning, guys. I just can't bet shoulds right now. I got to make sure everything fucking lines up. Another fucking alarm bell to me right here real quick before we go to the next guy. And he's had 8+ in 5 of his last 8 off the IL, guys. That's not an alarm bell that we're getting 8+. Some books had it at a -120. Some it closed at a -160. And I know we don't have the best of books. So is that not alarm bell number 2? He's averaging 8.5 over his last 8. Well, that's alarm bell number 3. So 8.5 over his last 8. Alarm bell number 1. Alarm bell number 2. He's had over 9 strikeouts in both of these games. Alarm bell number 3. He's had 8+ in 5 of his last 8 games off the IL. And they're going to give you an 8 at a very low juice number. Ha! Hope you guys cash it. Just letting you know why I stay off there. It's just too many red flags, guys. And when I run my head into red flags lately, it just doesn't fucking work out. So let's get into the next guy. And one of the newer members into the Black Book. Shout out to Aaron Boone, that piece of shit. And for trading our guy, Jordan Montgomery, to now where we get to talk about Jordan Montgomery. Other than Garrett Cole, we don't talk about any other Yankee because, I'll talk about him because I'm usually wrong. Shout out to Nasty Nestor. Went out and fucking had anal babies with the Tampa Bay Rays and couldn't get no strikeouts. So, but whatever. That's but can't be right all the time. Glad I didn't bet it, and there's a reason why I stay off some of these Yankees. Even though he was out there 7 innings, that fucker just shit the bed yesterday, strikeout prop-wise. But let's talk about Jordan Montgomery. He opened up 6+ at +130. 6 plus at plus 104 this morning, and he closed at that same number, that plus 104. He was at minus 164 at a 5 at Prize Picks this morning. That it is now at a minus 170 that we closed at that 5 plus. So just a little bit of a move towards his over right now, guys. And I get it, but not enough here to tell me. Over his last 10 games, he's averaging 5. Over his last 8, 5.3. Over his last 6, he's averaging 5. Now, he does have the best catcher probably in the history of baseball now calling him. Now, within an extra couple of weeks, when he really knows how to call this guy, wow, we could be really getting into some fucking fun things, guys. At the end of the day, gotta love us some Molina calling the games, and you gotta love fucking Jordan Montgomery. He was a beast in the American League East, and I expect him to be a beast here. He's now got a way better ballpark to pitch in, and he's got, well, like I said, one of the prime catchers in all of the history of baseball. So let's get into him. Fantasy scores at 34.5, and I don't really get why they're going to put it one up. That's like okay, they're asking you to bet the under right here, but there's not much to tell you. This is like how they did with Milwaukee last week, guys. They gave us a number that he hadn't hit, and that guy went out there and put his dick on the table. He had 8 strikeouts in them 6 innings. And it says K-Prop was at 6 plus. And he went and did the damn thing. And I expect him to go out and have a good game too. There's just not enough in the numbers to tell me to play a strikeout prop. So let's get to it. We don't have no home run strikeouts to be looking at right now, but he dominates the left-handed side compared to the right-handed side. No shit, most lefties do, but no, this guy, 4 strikeout difference per 9 from the left-handed side at an 11 K per 9 compared to just a 7 per 9 from the right-handed side. And these Rockies are projected to run out 8 right-handed and 1 left-handed bats. So K-prop-wise favoring the Rockies here, not Jordan Montgomery, in the lineup. Whip-de-doo. Now number 55 in my black book. Shout out to Junior Seau. Number 55, my Pop Warner number. I ain't too far from Oceanside. And, yeah, we idolized that guy growing up, and we still do at the end of the day. Shout out to you. At least you took your own life and didn't pull some Chris Benoit shit. But at the end of the day, we're on to talk baseball, so let's get to it. And like I said, guys, everything other than these numbers, and I just tells me I can't run it. They're walking at a 5.2%. That's the only thing that says go ahead and you can take that shot, because 5.2 is trash. If you're not going to take walks, you are always susceptible to a fucking strikeout prop. Period. I would look more towards a walk percentage than that strikeout percentage, because more often than not, high strikeout percentage, high walk percentage, you're going to have a little issue trying to get there. You don't want guys walking on a K prop, and these Rockies are not fucking walking. 5.2% over their last 200 plate appearances versus lefties. They are not striking out, though, at a 17.8% clip with a 276 average and a 744 OPS and a 160 ISO. So they're top 10 everywhere which way versus a lefty, guys. And I'm just not trying to run into that. I do like to run games where I see a guy being out there and not running into problems. Now, is every game going to be perfect? No. But I'd say a good 80% of the games that I bet the K-prop on, the guy goes out there and fucking dominates the game. And that's the game I want to be in. I just want the punchies to be there, unlike Verlander, who had everybody with 2 strikes and their mother, and then just decided to give up weak contact outs or hits. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Life's a bitch, then you marry one, and you get on to the next game. But I expect big things from Jordan Montgomery. The numbers, strictly the 6 plus at plus 104, he hasn't hit that often. And when I dig into the black book, there is not enough to say play for me, guys. I have to pass. When he's faced teams with a walk percentage of 6% or lower, so fucking garbage, so I'm like, okay, teams that don't walk, he's got to have an advantage on, right? Not so much, guys. 6 strikeouts, 5 and 5. So at the end of the day, he's hit it 1 time out of 3 times he's been in this spot. And there's just not enough there telling me that I have enough ammo to go running into it. And I ain't been hot enough to be, if I ain't got no ammo right now, I've just got to pass. So shout out to Jordan Montgomery. I will play you sooner rather than later, guys. At the end of the day, I didn't do no 40 fucking minutes of work on the one guy who took up the whole page the very fucking first time I had to do them. How you have that many games, bro? How you got that many games already? So like, fuck. But I will bet you wasted work is not coming. Shout out to the chat, guys. You guys rock. 50 deep. Not 30 likes though. Come on, man. Don't be a crack rock. Be a solid rock. Smash the like if you have it, and let's get to it. So well, I hear you. I hear you, JPZ, my guy. Scherzer's the man. There's just too many things there telling me it shouldn't be at 8. It should have been at 9 and at some juice money. And they're just, I'm just letting you know me. I'm at the end of the day, I'm being a vagina, but I do lean his over. There's no way would I bet that guy's under, and especially in this spot. But yeah, at the end of the day, I got to pass, especially with how not hot I've been. And I'm going to hit the one that I'm going to play. So let's talk about the next guy. We got 3 more to talk about. And if I was hot, I'd be on this guy as well. Framer Valdez at the White Sox. Oh, but the White Sox hit lefties. Well, not so much. At the end of the day, we don't just go on broad perspective numbers. We go off of 200 plate appearances. And on 200 plate appearances, these guys have been under a bridge, sucking dick for milk money, and they're lactose intolerant. And at the end of the day, Framer Valdez has played this team when they weren't that team, when they were hot, when they were crushing. And he went out and put his nuts on the table. So to me, when we get into it, everything just there tells me who cares that they're not walking at a good percent? Who cares that they're not striking out? They're not hitting at all. And they weren't striking out back then, and they were crushing at a 340 average and a 950 OPS with a 220 ISO. And he went out there and went 6 innings, 3 earned runs with 7 Ks. So when he manhandled this team, when they were good, how could he not have a even better game when they're actually way shittier by the numbers? And that's the type of game I expect, guys. At the end of the day, numbers aren't everything. And this black book has told me more often than not in situations like this guy is going to produce better than what he did. He's going up against way worse fucking numbers. So let's get to it. There is some alarm bells here that do bother me. So over his last 10, he's averaging 6.7. Over his last 8, 6.6. And his last 6, he's averaging 5.8. So why did it open at a 6+ at even money? Why is it at a 6+ minus 124 this morning and at a minus 114 before the show? Everything tells me this should have been a 6.5. Nothing tells me it should have been a 6. And when I dig into his props, and this is where it's like, okay, you have laid off this guy numerous of times because of these splits. When I do the math, he averages almost 10 strikeouts per 9 at home compared to just 7 on the road. He is on the road here, guys. That's 3 strikeouts less a fucking game. That is something to pay attention to. Then lefty versus righty, he averages the same exact 8.1 strikeouts per 9, and they're projected to put out 9 right-handed bats today. Well, at the end of the day, everything in the number tells me, okay, that's fishy. But I know that he should have a way better game because he went up against a team that was crushing the ball. They're not hitting the ball like they were. But then I get into it even more, a little even deeper, guys. And over the last 10 games in the black book, or in any game log, but I do keep a game log in part of the black book. He's had 7 games out of his last 10 getting 6 or more strikeouts. Is that not a motherfucking that another alarm right there, guys? At the end of the day, I got to pay attention to some of these alarms. There's nothing in the strikeout numbers. There's nothing in the walk percentage other than the average in OPS being a lot fucking worse than the time he went out and put his nuts on the table. So I do expect him to have a better game than he did the last time. I just can't bet and expect, guys. I've got to know, and I do know on the road you've had some issues. But does he really have issues on the road, guys? When I go back through his last 10 games on the road, he's had 3 games on the road. Okay, I can't give you a pass for the Oakland game. I hear you there, okay? But I can give you a pass for Cleveland and the Mets because those are 2 teams on our list that you better have a good fucking reason to run up a strikeout prop, or else you can't get socked in the fucking mouth. And yesterday, Charlie Morton was a great reason when I watched the game. I mean, laws of average, they were speaking. I mean, he was due to have a great game after how many times he got yopped. So, I mean, yeah, if you're going to look at laws of averages, Max Scherzer's due to get whopped because it's now, the 3rd time? And Framer Valdez, Everything averages says this should be a 7, guys. This should not be a 6. And this guy's went out there and had 7 versus this team already this year, back on June 17th, and that was at home. And I get it. He averages more strikeouts at home than the road, but I think that's a little skewed is what I'm getting at, guys. So if you like Valdez today, I've got a few reasons to like him, but then I've got a few reasons not to. So I can't hate it. I can't tell you to go bet the under either which way. I'm just going to have to pass on it. But I gave you the information, and hopefully you guys can make a bet with it. I do got a bet, though, in the next 2, and it ain't on this guy at the end of the day. I do have spots to bet Eric Lauer, but this ain't that fucking spot. Not versus them motherfucking Doyers, baby. No, 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 no. Not versus them Doyers. Shout out to the chat. 60 live. Only 31 likes, man. I almost fucking want to hit the power button. Smash the fucking like if you haven't. And we'll get on to the next 2 games where the Dirty K is involved in here. Only one fucking Dirty K of the day. And we're going to fucking stick it to him. And I ain't want to hear no whining. Because I'm just cashing at the end of the day. Eric Lauer versus the Dodgers. He opened up at 5+ at a -144. His 5+ this morning was at a -209. And it went straight to a 6+ at a +127. I don't know how long it was there. I went to sleep. That shit was gone. So some people got themselves a 5 strikeout in their pocket at a -144. And over his last 8, he's averaging 5. Over his last 6, he's averaging 4.7. And his fantasy score on PrizePicks is at a 21.5. And that's where I would play Eric Lauer if I was to play Eric Lauer in any spot, guys. And let's get into it. He's averaging 8.8 strikeouts at home and on the road per 9. And he dominates the left-handed side with 2 strikeouts more per 9 than the right-handed side with a 10.6 from the left-handed side. And the Dodgers are projected to put out 7 right-handed and 2 left-handed bats. I'm going to be real with you. There may be 3 or 4 left-handed bats in there. The Dodgers have been really analytical, and I get it. This guy does have an average of pretty much the same lefty versus righty, 226 to a 230. Not a big difference right there. And the Dodgers, there's quite a few guys who have decent numbers off of Eric Lauer. Now, Eric Lauer is not the same pitcher as he has been, but the Dodgers are going to pay attention to that. And I expect Cody Bellinger to be in the lineup today. I expect Gavin Lux to be in the lineup today. Expect Freddie Freeman to be in the lineup today. Those are at least 3 lefties right there that I expect to be in the lineup, and they're only saying 2. So if you're looking at his K-prop, that will favor it. Now, there's a few other things that I got to get into. Number 33 in the Black Book, and that's he pitches better at home. Not just strikeout-wise, they're both the same. Like I said earlier, strikeout-wise is the same home road splits, but ERA, it's a 2.65 compared to a 4.18. Now he gets the Dodgers, who happen to be fucking tearing the goddamn cover off of baseballs from the left-handed and right-handed side at this moment. Well, 5 games this year, he's gone up against teams with an ISO of 200+, and now 170 is fucking great. 200+ means you're fucking raping motherfuckers, guys. At the end of the day, you're destroying the baseball. So he's gone up against fucking 5 teams this year with a 200+ ISO, because the Dodgers right now do have a 214 ISO. So what did he do in those games? He went 6 innings in every fucking game, giving up more than 3 earned runs just 1 time. So actually, guys, I did not check what his pitching outs is. That may be the fucking spot. He has gone 6+ innings, 18 outs, every time he's gone up against a team who can crush lefties. Now, what does that tell me? That he should do it again. And this is coming from a guy from the Dodgers, guys. But these ain't just no mollywop-ass teams he's done this to. He's done this to the Cardinals. He's done this to the Phillies. He's done this to the Giants when they were crushing lefties. And the Reds when they were crushing lefties. There are all different times where these teams were actually really good at points versus and this guy went out there and dealt. So I've got to expect this guy not to be no fucking nerves, not to be scared, and to go out and go 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less. That's a quality start, guys, at the end of the day. And that gets to that 21.5 fantasy score fucking easily, guys. And I get it. It's hard to take fucking anything versus the Dodgers. The Dodgers can kill you, especially fantasy score, and they can kill you betting unders. But at the end of the day, Eric Lauer has shown me more often than not that he will show up, and he ain't going to be scarred. So I expect a big game from Eric Lauer today. I really do. Now let's get into the Dirty K. And he owes me money from last week. Motherfucker lost by the hook. And we're not going to talk about how many 2 strikes this motherfucker had last week, because that's last week. We ain't here to talk about last week. Carlos motherfucking Rodon, my favorite left-handed pitcher, not named Clayton Kershaw. So let's get into him. Now, opened up last night at an 8 plus at a plus 100. This morning he was at an 8 plus minus 121. And that's where I grabbed him. And he's right at the same number. Now, he averages 7.7 over his last 10, 7.9 over his last 8, and 7.3 over his last 6. Now, is there alarm bells there, Sharpie? No, because when I dig into his last 10, guys, he's only had 8 strikeouts in 3 of his last 10. That's a 30% right there, guys. But at the end of the day, we're not just looking that broad perspective into it. We're going to go a lot deeper into it. And this guy averages 2.3 strikeouts more at home than on the road. Not just that, his ERA is a 1.89 at home than on the road. Okay, so his strikeouts go up by 2.3. His ERA drops by 2 from a 3.72 road ERA. And the guy dominates lefties and righties. He strikes out 12 left-handed per 9 and 11.1 right-handed per 9. Beast. Now let's get into number 7 in this black book. And at the end of the day, this guy is been the man in spots. And I would run him in a spot like the Pirates last week. It's a different spot. And I'll run head in the walls with him, guys. At the end of the day, I lost by the fucking hook. And he had so many 2 strike counts that, like I said, I don't make excuses. I bet my own plays. But did not show me any reason not to go look back at Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon, I expect a bounce-back type game. And then when I dig into the numbers, guys, at the end of the day, everything's telling me already, when I do the math, favors Carlos Rodon's K-prop. Now when I get into the 3 games versus these Arizona Diamondbacks, what do I get? I get July 4th, July 26th, and today. 2 games on the road where his strikeouts go down and his ERA goes up. And did you hit your K-prop, my guy? Did you get your Strickland?
Yes, sir.
Get your fucking money, bro. But find a Blue Jays jersey because we got rid of that chicken strip. But shout out to fucking Ross Stripling chicken strip. Shout out to Big Show. He's got his in-game parlay in this Blue Jays game cracking off. He's already got 1 checked off. So the hard part's done. Now let's just get to the over and some hits. So get to the money, my guy. Shout out to you guys. Y'all been smashing the like. I appreciate it. 60 live, almost 40 likes. And let's get to these numbers about Rodon. At the end of the day, he had 7 strikeouts in 5 innings the first time he seen them, and he had 10 strikeouts in 6 innings the second time, giving up 4 earned runs and 5 earned runs both times. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This team was striking out bottom 5s both times that he's faced them. 20.5% or lower, which is fucking great to left-handed. They weren't really walking at the end of the day. They were about middle of the pack at about an 8% clip, but they were hitting the ball. They were hitting 260 the first game, 306 the second game. Their OPS was 742 and 842 with an ISO of 170 and 180. They were crushing the fucking ball both times. Carlos Rodon seen them, and he had 7 and 10 strikeouts and went 5 and 6 innings respectively, while getting the dog shit pounded out of him. He gave up runs. He was hit hard in those games. That's fine. Now we're getting into now, where he's already mad about last week. Now he gets a team by the numbers. This is the best spot he's going to face them in that he's faced all fucking year. And they're striking out at a 24.2% clip. They haven't struck out past a 20.5% clip all year. They're at a 233 average. The 260 average was the lowest he's seen all year versus these D-backs. And they're at a 680 OPS. 742 was the lowest. And their ISO is 139. League average right now. They haven't been league average when they faced him, guys. League average doesn't do well versus Carlos fucking Rodon. He's at home. Everything says 6+ innings gets us our 8+ strikeouts, if not beforehand. And I expect him to be out there 6 innings. His team ain't hitting. This guy's ERA is better at home, and I expect a dominant performance versus a team that's just ready to be taken advantage of, guys. So everything says yes to me, and I am on him. That's why this man is dirty. There's not a thing telling me not to get dirty. So he is the only play of the day, and I am going to get some of my money back slowly but surely. Shout out to the fucking chat. Smash the fucking like. We're going to hit a commercial and get to some hitting props. Yeah, boy. Welcome back to the Balking Den. If you haven't already, guys, go on over to Manscaped. Use that promo code PUBSPORTS. Go ahead your balls, not your bets, guys. And do yourself a favor and watch how many more favors your ladies does for you. At the end of the day, nobody wants a goddamn wizard sleeve, guys. So take care of yourself. Watch how much more you get taken care of. So shout out to you guys. Smash the like if you haven't. If you happen to ever go through San Antonio, stop by the Boss Man's Bar, guys. Southtown 101. I'm not just telling you to do that. Seriously, the best food I had in Texas. Yeah, and I kept going back over and over and over. I'm that fucking weirdo, and it is what it is. It was that good, and they murder the pricey. Maybe it's just everywhere's cheaper than California. Who fucking knows? But when you can get full off of less than $8, oh, and the food is really fucking good, man, I'll come back fucking breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the end of the day. Sign me the fuck up, and that place is Southtown 101. So, yeah, man. And let's get to it. We are here to talk hitting props now. We already talked pitching props. If we get the 50 likes, I will recap the Dirty K for the ones that do show up late. If not, y'all can go back through and fish it and find it yourself. Life's a bitch and you marry one. So, first bet I'm going to talk about. I have 2 bets and like 5 or 6 props to talk about. I will be on Will Smith, guys. 2+ bases, plus 117. And we talking Will Smith from the Dodgers, not Will Smith who got bitch slapped or who did bitch slap Chris Rock. So, we're not talking about that guy. We're talking about this guy over here. He hits lefties at a 314 compared to a 258 with a 500 slugging compared to a 460. And his OPS goes up 100 points to a 904 from an 809. All of his numbers versus righties are good. His numbers versus lefties are fucking better. So, we're going to have multiple opportunities being in that 4-hole spot for the Dodgers. And I thought I wanted this guy's hits, runs, RBIs. And then they jumped on to me, and it was at 3+ at -105. And I don't hate it if you do want to play it that way because Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, and Freddie Freeman are hot as fuck, and Trey Turner's batting 510 at bats off of Lauer already with 2 yoppers, guys. They put Trey Turner's home run at a +300. Go suck a dick. If you're going to bet Trey Turner today, take him at that 2+ bases at that -108. There is value in a -108, guys. We will bet -108 money lines. We will take a team on a -150, -160. Why the hell are you going to be scared of -108, guys? +300, not enough value in Trey Turner's home run. And we're going to have multiple advantages when we do get into this, guys, because their bullpen over the last 30 days is 17th with a 4 ERA, and over the last 15 days are 22nd with a 4.2 ERA. So Eric Lauer, Will Smith hits lefties better, power numbers and average numbers, and then we're turning it over to a bullpen that just hasn't been that bullpen, guys. So give me some Will Smith, 2+ bases, and yeah, we're going to cash that shit at some nice plus money, but don't hate anybody looking to play some Trey Turner today, guys. At the end of the day, I don't just always go off of just at-bats. I try to look at what I like to run, and then I give you guys both. So, yes, Trey Turner is probably one of the hottest Dodgers to wear a Dodger uniform. The guy goes on 20-game hit streaks left and fucking right, and when he has good numbers versus somebody, you should probably pay attention. So maybe I should go sprinkle that a little bit and bet that 2+ at -108. So now that I'm thinking about it, that's just making sense. And in this part, if it makes sense, it does make money where It's not making sense sometimes. We gotta feed them bitches. But no, Trey Turner, guys, can't hate anybody looking at him. I'm gonna look at the plus money side, but I think I am going to run it up now with some Trey Turner now that I've talked myself into it. Shout out to Underrated. I know he be hooking Trey Turner, hit or one base, whatever the best juice is, to almost anything and everything he bets. Like he goes, it hits at a 90-something% clip, Sharpie. And I can't hate him for that at the end of the day. Like I said, the guy goes on 20-game hit streaks like it's the thing to fucking do. But sign me up for some motherfucking Will Smith, please and thank you. And let's get on into the next guy I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to bet him. Brandon Belt, guys, when you first look at these plate appearances, you're like, ooh, okay, only 10 plate appearances. Yes, we like to see 15 or more, but he has 2 walks, 0 strikeouts, and he's batting .400, guys. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's something here to it. I know Brandon Belt before this year was one of the primo hitters in all of baseball, guys, over the last 5 years, war-related, guys, and like, at the end of the day, he's up there in the talks with Mookie Betts, Juan Soto, Mike Trout type shit. Like, and the guy's just falling off a fucking cliff this year. But being in this division, you fucking know Brandon Belt, guys. You at least fucking gotta do some digging into him, right? You're like, okay, he's got decent numbers. This may be a day for Brandon Belt, right? Nah, guys. 4 of those hit, he has 2 extra bases, 1 yopper and a double. But I look into his pre-All-Star and his All-Star and his post-All-Star, guys, and he's just fucking trash since the All-Star break. He's batting 186. He's struck out 21 times in 70 at-bats. There's no way I could look at this, guys. Yes, he does hit righties better than lefties, and they have his 2+ bases is at plus 105, and his home run is plus 400. I can't bet a guy batting 186, striking out 21 of 70 at-bats since the All-Star break, guys. This guy's just fucking gone downhill. I didn't think I was going to see that when I started breaking into him. And it is what it is. I'm not going to waste the information, but I broke him down. The numbers look good. I know what he is. And then he just looks like he's been sucking dick under one of them bridges in San Francisco for milk money, and the guy's lactose intolerant. So we cannot be involved with that. So Brandon Belt, just play some fucking defense today. That's all I need you for. And yeah, let's get into some other guys that we need to talk about. And Jose motherfucking Abreu, a.k.a. Jose a boo-boo, guys. The motherfucking magic carpet right now. Did I bet him yesterday? No. Did I tell you guys you probably should bet him? Yes. Did I get kicked in the nuts? Yes. Fucker hit every 2-strike count he had, bro. Took a whopping, a whop-a-boom, a boop, boop. Fuck Verlander, dude. Oh, that guy has your motherfucking number, bro. Like, at least peg the guy on the first pitch next time we have a fucking chance. Like, don't even fucking pitch to the guy. Go right up there and just bop. Take that, ya bitch. But, yeah. This guy has his number, guys, and this guy historically just fucking ropes lefties compared to righties. But he's been hitting righties good all year as well, guys. At the end of the day, he's got a 295 average on both sides or better. His slugging does go up 50 points on the left-handed side from a 460 to a 510. And his OPS goes from an 836 to a 900. Both is good from each side, guys. And these Astro pin over the last 30 days hasn't been good with a 4.25, guys. But at the end of the day, we break it down in the 15 days too, and they have been good. They dropped it down to a 3.07. So this right here, you really want to be looking at, if you're going to play Abreu, you're probably going to have to attack the starting pitchers here, because once the starting pitcher gets out, I expect the elite sides of the bullpens to be coming in for the Astros today. I expect a very well solid pitched game from Valdez. Even though a lot of these guys rake left-handed fucking pitchers for a living, the numbers say they're not. I know Jose Abreu has been cashing that over 1.5 versus lefties, because shout out to my man Tone. He's been on him pretty much every time this guy plays a lefty. He behaves Sharpie, Abreu, and sometimes we don't even look at it until like 20 minutes before the game. But the guy's been straight money versus lefties, even though the other guys haven't. And they have his 2+ bases is at minus 108. And his home run is at plus 500. All that right there is disrespectful. If you want to play his home run, I just say put the bigger bet on the 2+ bases. That way you've covered yourself. I'm going to look the other way, guys, and I'm going to play me some Andrew Vaughn in this game. Not Ricky Vaughn wild thing. We're going Andrew Vaughn. He's crushing lefties at a 330 this year compared to 290 versus righties. Like 290 is bad. Yeah, see, like we're getting multiple actions here, guys, because this guy's been yapping. He does have the same slugging, pretty much a 450 each way, and his OPS is 800 plus each way. At the end of this day, guys, this guy's made me a lot of money versus lefties, and he has decent numbers off of Valdez and only 8 plate appearances. Now, I only like to take 15 or more. He has have a home run in these 8 at bats with 4 hits, but it could have just been 2 bad games for Valdez. But no, Valdez wasn't having bad games. Go look back at those games. Valdez beasted in those games. So I'm still going to have to just jump me on some Vaughn, guys. At the end of the day, it should not be at the number it's at. 2+ is at a plus 154. I thought I was going to get value on his hits, runs, RBIs, and that's where I normally run him at versus a lefty, because we got guys like Abreu and other guys that do hit lefties, and you expect them to be on base. I was looking for them ducks on the pond, guys, them hits, runs, RBIs, but they ain't dumb no more. They've moved it to a 3+ with Bond. We used to be getting them at a minus 130 on this show, guys. We were giving them out at 2+, minus 130 versus lefties at one time, guys. Don't fucking forget who was talking about Andrew Vaughn before people try to talk about Andrew Vaughn. So at the end of the day, +1 with 54 is a fucking gift. The guy's been raking post All-Star like he's been raking pre-All-Star. Nothing to be scared of. And yeah, his home run is at a plus 600. I will sprinkle that a little bit, but bigger bet will be on the 2+ at the plus 154. So yeah, let's get fucking to it. Woo! Shout out to you guys. If you haven't already, smash the fucking like and go on over to Prize Picks. Use that promo code PUBSPORTS. Your first match deposit up to $100. They got you guys. So go do us a favor, do you a favor, and yeah, do the damn thing. And we got 130K. Go back through the show. We didn't hit the 50 likes, so we don't hit the recap. If we don't hit the 50 likes, we got 6 pitching prop breakdowns, and we've got some hitting prop breakdowns. So go get to the fucking money. Plenty of fucking info. Until next time, let's get some money back, guys, because they owe us. Fuck the motherfucking books.